What you're about to hear is a true story. It happened on August 6, 1945, a day the world changed forever. One city vanished in seconds. Tens of thousands of lives ended. And yet, in the heart of that destruction, just a few blocks from the center of it all, a small group of men walked away alive. Why? They said it was prayer. Others said it was chance. Some scientists call it a strange fluke of physics. You'll hear the details. You'll meet the survivors. You'll hear what they believed and what skeptics still argue. And when it's over, it's up to you to decide. Was it a miracle or something else? It was a clear summer morning in Hiroshima. The sun had just risen. People were walking to work. Students were getting ready for school. At 8:15 a.m., a US B-29 bomber named Enola Gay dropped the first atomic bomb ever used in war. The bomb, called Little Boy, exploded about 1,900 feet above the city. In an instant, over 70,000 people were killed. Another 70,000 would die in the days and weeks that followed. The blast leveled everything within a 2-kilometer radius. Temperatures reached 7,000 degrees Fahrenheit. Glass melted, bricks crumbled, bodies were vaporized. But somehow, in the middle of that destruction, one house was still standing. Just about 1 kilometer from ground zero, near the Assumption of Our Lady Church, stood the Jesuit rectory, home to 8 German and Polish priests. The most well-known was Father Hubert Schiffer, a 30-year-old priest from Germany. He would later say he was sitting at breakfast when the blast hit. He saw a flash of light, the building shook, windows shattered, debris flew through the air, and then silence. When the priests stepped outside, they saw a city destroyed, buildings on fire, smoke everywhere. But they were alive, and their house, though damaged, was still standing. All 8 Jesuit priests survived the bombing. Some had cuts and scrapes, but none were seriously injured. Among them were Father Hubert Schiffer, Father Hugo LaSalle, Father Wilhelm Kleinsorg, Father Sieslik. They helped treat the wounded, they gave last rites, they offered shelter. Years later, Father Schiffer said, "We believe we survived because we were living the message of Fatima. We prayed the Rosary every day." He repeated that message many times over the next 30 years. He also claimed that doctors repeatedly examined him for signs of radiation sickness and found none. The Fatima message refers to a series of visions reported by 3 children in Portugal in 1917. In one of those visions, the Virgin Mary supposedly asked the people to pray the Rosary daily to bring peace. The Hiroshima Jesuits said they followed this devotion closely. To them, the Rosary wasn't just a ritual, it was a shield. Did this devotion really protect them from an atomic bomb? Not everyone agrees it was a miracle. Skeptics point out that the radiation effects are not always predictable. Some buildings provided better shielding, and the structure the Jesuits lived in was made of reinforced concrete, stronger than most homes in Hiroshima at the time. Also, the blast direction and surrounding geography played a role. Some areas were hit harder depending on how the shockwave moved through the city. As for the health of the priests, there is no independent medical documentation confirming they were completely unaffected by radiation over time. Some skeptics suggest memories were shaped and simplified in the decades that followed. They argue, was it prayer or physics? Where are the records? Much of what we know comes from Father Schiffer's personal accounts, shared later in interviews and talks. He claimed he was examined by American doctors multiple times. He said they were amazed at his health, but those reports were never published in medical journals. That leaves questions. Was it truly a supernatural protection? Or is this the story of missing scientific facts? Hiroshima was rebuilt from the ashes, but the story of the surviving priests began to spread far beyond Japan. Catholic publications called it proof of divine protection. Devotional groups told the story to inspire rosary prayer, but few journalists or scientists ever followed up. The story passed quietly into legend. The rectory where they lived has since been rebuilt. The Jesuits continued their mission work. Most of the surviving priests died in the 1970s and 80s. Father Schiffer gave his last known interview in 1976 before passing away a few years later. The story of the Hiroshima Jesuits still circulates today, especially on religious websites and rosary pamphlets and Catholic talks. But if you search for hard evidence, you'll find a mix of sources. Some repeat the story word for word, others question its accuracy. And while the priest's survival is undeniable, the explanation for why remains a matter of belief. Some say the story deserves more study. Others say it's just another case of faith meeting chance. In a city turned to ash, a few men walked away nearly unharmed. They believed prayer saved them. Scientists say the structure, the angle of the blast, and luck might explain it. So we're left with a question. What do you think happened in Hiroshima that day? Was it divine intervention? Or an unlikely survival story shaped by faith? Let me know what you think in the comments. And if you've heard other stories like this, real or legendary, I'd love to hear them. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more mystery reports like this one.